Proszę bardzo. 100 000 kroków.
Me and my friend Philip decided to try out this 100,000 steps in a single day challenge. So 100,000 steps in 24 hours sounds hard, but because we treated it like a fun little game, spending almost 18 hours walking was really rewarding. It came out to be around 77 kilometers or 48 miles. The beginning of the day was probably the favorite part, not for the obvious reasons, but because the city was super calm. Like, we started it at 4 a.m. So the sun was also rising, the weather was super good, and yeah, we just started walking. For the first half of the challenge, up to around 50,000 steps, it honestly felt easier than expected. We treated it more like an experiment, so we also decided to try out different kind of food along the way. We had some interesting snacks we haven't tried before. We had some MRE style rations. We had some crazy tryout cubes that you find on the lifeboats, just to keep it fun, just to make some additional milestones along the way. So yeah, it was all fun up for the first half. However, it changed somewhere around 70,000 step mark. Then both of us started to feel actual pain. It stopped being that comfortable anymore. Additionally, like, the weather at some point turned out completely. There was heavy storm, really intense rain, really strong wind. In those kind of conditions, we probably would just stay at home. But yeah, we were at a very late stage already. So instead of breaking the momentum, we decided to push forward. We didn't really want to do any breaks. To be honest, it actually added us a lot of energy. It made the whole experience feel more intense, because at this point it stopped being just about covering the distance, and it gave us an interesting opportunity to test ourselves yet again. Our case, it definitely helped out that we are doing it together. We never hit a low point at the same time, so one of us was always doing okay. In a way, we just carried each other through the hardest parts without, making a big deal of it. And what stood out to me the most was how rare that kind of time actually is, because even when you meet friends, it's usually for a couple of hours. It's often with some distractions, there are some phones, there is something to do. There is rarely a case where you can just go talk with someone, just feel the motivation, feel the common goal for plenty of hours. So yeah, like 80,000 step mark was probably the most exhausting from a mental perspective. I think mostly because the end was quite far and we already started to feel the pain. We started to feel a bit lower tempo. However, around 90,000 steps, the physical side really caught up with us. Everything started to hurt, like feet, legs, the general fatigue of just moving for so long caught up quite hard. And yeah, at this point, moving, like simply walking forward, was a challenge. We could have stopped at any moment, but yeah, because we were so close, quitting wasn't really an option. And yeah, our only worry was that we won't fit into 1 day mark because our tempo was extremely slow. The pain became more of a subject for our jokes rather than something to, really focus on that much. And eventually we reached the goal of 100,000 steps, which, to be honest, is a bit of an arbitrary number. These kind of challenges are more for testing ourselves, for pushing the comfort zones, for looking at it from a, making something that you wouldn't normally do on a normal basis. As a side effect, you also create a unique opportunity to spend a lot of valuable time with other people, with your friends and so on. Spending that many hours without constant stimulation had a very noticeable effect on the mind. Doing something like that takes that much time, consistency. Normal problems, like normal things, start to feel smaller, and that's the real value of something like this, to push your comfort zone, to get some interesting lessons, to grow on this.
Uwaga,
Godzina 21:40.
zaczęliśmy o 4 rano, kończymy o godzinie 21:40. Jesteśmy gigaczady ogólne, nie?